Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to Say Something Real. And
This is what I'm watching right here.
it's
This is
it's uh it's my season. Now, they did mention something about possible snow today. So minus the snow, it's my season. Uh First three trees have gone up and lights are on, ornaments are in place. I still got three more trees to go.
you've been
So
shopping.
say what?
You've been shopping. I thought you had lost all
No,
of them.
I had three trees that didn't get damaged.
Oh, okay.
So those trees have gone up. So no, I haven't been. I haven't.
But they're
Say
saying
what?
they're saying the cost of artificial trees is going to be through the roof this year because
Yeah,
of tariffs.
yeah. I think I'm gonna do one live tree and then
Because they're
the
made in
rest-
China.
Yeah, right. What you said, you made? How many trees you need?
Yeah, how many trees you need?
How many rooms I got?
So you put a tree in every room?
Just about.
Really?
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh.
It's holiday from room to room, not just holiday in the family room.
If I'm not mistaken, this is her favorite holiday.
It is absolutely,
So
my
she goes
favorite.
all out. Everybody knows she
There's
got a tree
trees
in every
everywhere.
room.
Huh?
dude. it's-
Watch this, Jermaine. I guarantee you, before we get into it, somebody gonna drop a damn tree off for Michelle.
well, but
Because now you
then
know she down a couple trees. Guaranteed.
Somebody goes
Hint,
off
hint.
the tree.
no, and you know, because one of the things that I actually had done a couple of years informally, and I keep saying I'm gonna make this a formal thing that I do, but informally, I would give away Christmas trees to people. I would buy trees myself when I see them on clearance. A couple of people heard me talking about it on the show. They bought a couple of trees and brought them to me, and I would make sure that there were families that didn't have a Christmas tree could get at least a Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because, on one hand, two things. One, when I first met one of my friends, when I first moved to Milwaukee, well, I hadn't, not when I first moved to Milwaukee, I had been here, but when I first met her and I went to their house for the holidays, you know, their Christmas gifts was on the couch. I was like, what is this?
Mm-hmm. I've seen that.
And there was no tree. And I was like, well, what's happening? And she said, what you mean? And you know, she had a young daughter and stuff who was now like my niece. And I was like, yeah, where y'all tree at, man? what's going on up in here? And she's like, my mama just never really did that. You know, she would just put our stuff on the couch. Or she said, and it wouldn't be wrapped either. I was like, wait, what's happening? So I'm not opening up no paper. I'm not tearing no stuff up. Like, yeah, nah. So, you know, my influence. They got trees over there now
Right.
because I just couldn't understand it. But yeah, it is definitely one of my absolute most favorite holidays.
I caught probably the nicest tree I've ever had at a consignment shop.
Really?
And it is beautiful.
Really?
8-footer.
Woo!
Yeah.
What
looks
type?
a
Is it
fern.
like
Looks like fern, like that fern, whatever that
fir,
is.
like a balsam fir, something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I'm gonna tell
Really.
y'all, short needle trees are the prettiest to me. And that's like balsam fir, Fraser fir is like my absolute Cadillac. I
Mhm.
love Fraser fir trees. And those longer needles. And you know what is crazy? Because one thing I have picked up from my daughter-in-law is wearing gloves now when I put up my artificial tree. Because some of those things, depending on the type of tree you have, if you got like a good quality tree,
Mhm.
man, they stick your fingers like
Tear you
crazy.
up.
Yeah, because they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
They firm. They
So
firm.
when she bought her tree from this Christmas company online, and they sent a pair of gloves with her tree.
Mhm.
And she was like, you know what? And so she read everything. And so she wears the gloves to put her tree on. And I was like, you know what? You ain't said nothing but a thing. So
And
yeah.
I need to retract something, Michelle, I did on last year. I said that I would not allow for my great granddaughter to come back to my house till she
To
was
dec-
18.
Because is this the one that was tearing up the tree?
Yeah, she turned my damn tree over. Don't bring her back till she 18. So So I'm gonna go ahead and publicly say she can come back this year. We're gonna try it again. But if she do one thing, she's out of there. She is out of there.
You know what, Marquette Bailey, don't be
She was
sending me
too
no
bad.
harassing text messages. What? Are you seriously talking about Christmas trees? You know I'm talking about Christmas trees.
And well, we how many days?
It's
out from
November
Thanksgiving?
18th. Y'all better be glad I just
We
started.
right there, man.
Somebody said, Dion said, good morning. I was raised like that also. Yet we had a tin tree with that circle color thing
Oh,
that
yeah,
moved
I
around
had
our
that one.
gifts. We're on the sofa,
Yeah, with
not
turn
wrapped.
colors.
Yeah.
The worst stuff I ever seen in my life.
Dude, no, I wouldn't have bought one.
No,
I heard
I'll
about on
never
the
want to
south
see them
side
again
that you
in
can
life.
find that aluminum foil tree. I love that tree. And then it had the little fan. You buy that fan with the multicolored wheels and it will spin.
Yeah.
And it'll like make boy, come on now.
Yeah, no,
That's Christmas
that
throwback.
was the ghettoest.
That was
thing.
not ghetto.
That was ghetto.
Oh my
I bet
God.
you white folks didn't have it in their house.
Who cared what the white folks had in their
I'm
house?
just saying,
Our style is way jazzier. Like, what is you talking about?
That was like
You know
Michelle.
what?
Now tell me this wasn't a Milwaukee thing.
What?
The beer things, and you sew them together, and then you spray paint them, and you make like little curtains to go across your.
I don't know nothing about that. I ain't never seen
You don't remember that?
I don't know. Y'all had beer curtains?
No, the plastic.
Wait, what
The
plastic?
plastic to hold 6-packs together.
You do what with it?
Yeah.
Wait, and you do what with it now?
You would connect them together, and
Yeah.
then you would put them on a curtain rod, and they would. This was back in the
Kinda like-
psychedelic, and you would spray them
kinda
different
like-
colors.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about the plastic thing?
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
holds with the circles.
Yeah,
And people would put them together.
and make curtains out of them,
You
like
know
this
what?
little. It was a
Yeah, the little
trending
design,
thing.
Yeah.
in Milwaukee. So y'all didn't do it.
Why would we do that?
We didn't do it either, but I
Wow.
seen it though. I mean, I know exactly what you're
Well,
talking
that's
about.
because you grew up in a Christian home.
But why
No,
would,
but
My mama had
why
a lot
would
of
you do
6-packs around that she had to figure out something to do with them holders.
why would you do that? If anybody else had the curtains made,
I guarantee you some cars are gonna be like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, that was popular back then.
My mama had some
Mark can't tell
six-packs.
myself, I'm praying for you. I need to see a picture of that tree. Keisha, before you leave the house, take a picture of the trees in the living room and the one in the kitchen and send it to me.
Tree in the kitchen.
We got a big kitchen. so,
Jeez, it's just Christmas time everywhere. Huh?
so
So you don't put prizes under all of those. I mean, gifts under all the.
no,
trees?
that's just going to family room.
Okay. That's the
That's just
name.
going to family.
Okay.
All right. So see, now that y'all got me started.
So who cooking for Thanksgiving, man?
Lena Taylor, we all going to her house to eat.
Lena?
And
Miss
we bring
Taylor,
out a
Judge
Tupperware-
Taylor?
Bring out a Tupperware dish.
Yeah, because she showed me a text yesterday telling myself I'll be bringing my Tupperware again
for
this
that,
year.
For that dressing.
Yeah.
Send me an invite,
Uh,
But I want to say,
dressing is fire.
now that we're talking, since you brought it up,
what?
I have seen it and I know how she get out. But Sunday, she was just a little different to me. She was feeding the people and bringing folks desserts.
That's
and
what she
you-
do all
you
the time.
Water, you need something.
That's
She-
her. That's her
Yeah,
MO.
I never seen her like,
Yeah,
like
no.
moving like that.
In fact, if she wasn't doing that, it would have been something wrong.
Mm.
She don't know how to go and just be a
Yeah,
guest.
hats off to her, man.
She
was just a
gonna
busy beaver.
serve. You know, she gonna clean up.
Yeah.
She gonna stay as long as she can.
She was
I
one of the
mean,
last ones I saw leave the kitchen.
Yeah, no,
She
that's
had
her
about
MO.
5 plates with her, but she. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
You know
just
what?
kidding.
And even if she did, she was taking them to people.
No, you know what?
Um,
No, she didn't. I think she made Clark's plate. She just was just
That-
all over the place.
Dude, she don't know. Like there would be times it actually is irritating. I'd be like, Lena, go sit down some damn where. Just go sit. But if she come, like, and I love her as a house guest because if she come, whatever she ate, she getting up and cleaning that plate. She putting it in the sink. She'll wash the dish, put it in the rack. Like Lena is one of the neatest, cleanest people I know.
Mm.
But she is a servant. Period. She will help. There are no heirs. Oh, the senator, the judge is here. There are no heirs. You like, well, damn, how much is y'all paying her? Because she, and that's the thing that I love about that girl. And it showed up in the way she delivers services as a legislator. Because there's some people, you know, they got a title and now they the most important person in the room.
Mhm.
Everybody waiting on them, serving them. You get to skip the line because you the legislator. Man, get out of here with that BS. You just a regular chick with a different job and a different title.
Mhm.
Don't do that. So I'm glad you said that because it's one of the things that I really, and that's why we rock. Because I don't, you know, nah. If I go somewhere, I'm working. I'm not there to just be fabulous. Like, well, I am always fabulous, but
Always.
somebody said don't forget the little tinsel stuff. Now I ain't never put that on my tree. The little tinsel stuff that you throw on the tree,
What, candy canes?
so it looks like it's dripping. Nah,
Oh.
that's
Oh,
silver
you talking about?
tinsel.
Yeah, because it's so hard to
Yeah,
clean
all
up.
that mess all
God,
over your
dog.
phone. People throw it up on the
Jeez,
tree.
yeah, it's so
nah,
hard to clean up.
I don't
after
put that on my
Christmas.
tree.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
it's the worst. And then
No,
that
but I'm
snow
gonna
that
tell
goes
you the
on
one
top.
thing I learned from this girl. She was really a hood sister, but she taught me something that was so cold. Oh my God. This young sister bought 3 strands of garland, the really nice garland that costs like $29.99. But if you get it on sale, when Michael's would have it for 50% off, you get $15 a strip. And the garland already was ornate. She then hot glued ornaments to the garland, just beautiful ornaments, all kind, whatever her little color thing was. And then she took those 3 strands after she had because she had a pre-lit tree, which I tend not to do pre-lit trees because when the bulbs go out, it's hard to replace
Yeah,
them.
it's hard to replace.
I just buy my own lights. But she had a pre-lit tree. She took those 3 strands of garland, she wrapped that tree. And when I tell you it was beautiful, and it was after you do the initial work, then the next year, if you do that again, the whole tree is just a garland wrapped around the tree. I was just like, oh my God, it took 20 minutes to do her Christmas tree. I was so mad. I was so mad. I was so mad, but I copied it.
So,
I learned that.
you don't do. You're not going to be doing the hooks and all that
Oh
stuff.
no, I do all of it. I do all of it. You
Yeah.
know, yeah. No, man, I just hung like 75 balls on one tree. and I like filler. So anyway, as y'all know, we in my season, so y'all might as well get ready. Marquette Baylor, because I'm gonna be on that. Ladette, no, we ain't putting no tinsel on no tree. Let me do this for a second though. Let me take a serious turn because, and I'm sorry, I did not say good morning. I just started talking. Good morning, Mr. Ryder. How you doing this morning?
I ain't gonna waste your time. Good morning, love.
I can't stand you. Good morning, Debo. How you doing?
Blessed and highly favored.
All right. Clark Kent,
Who you with?
my man. There you go. So look,
He
y'all.
made it to the room, Michelle.
Doug Kelly hollering, like somebody gonna speak to him.
You
Anybody
better
said
speak to
good morning?
Doug.
Anybody said good morning?
Doug.
He all good morning. Nobody was talking to you, sir.
He got Tourette's.
Cookies.
Right.
So look, y'all. Let me take a second because we have now seen a couple of incidences happening at or around schools that has been extremely alarming within the last week or so. So first story, a Milwaukee public school student was attacked. Fox 6 News carried the story. Father demands accountability, 13-year-old arrested. And so what they say is that a Milwaukee father says the school system failed his 13-year-old son after the boy was attacked by another student at Rufus King International Middle School on Wednesday, November 11th. Myron Wilson said his son suffered deep cuts to his head, neck, back, and hands. He said school staff acknowledged that the attacking student had threatened his son for at least 2 days before the incident. Wilson was on his way home on Thursday from Arizona, frustrated regarding the reason why he was returning to Milwaukee. And he said, quote, they said they didn't have the resources. They were short on staff and security. He was attacked by a student that was going around the school for approximately 3 days, threatening him and other students that he was going to kill them. In a letter sent to families on Wednesday, NPS said the student used a piece of glass to hurt the other student. The principal wrote that this behavior is absolutely unacceptable. The Wilson family shared photos of the boy's injuries, most of them too graphic to show without edits. This is what they did in their reporting. Wilson said they reflect how severely his son was hurt. Quote, he's traumatized. He wants to go back to school to learn. I told him, no, not in Wisconsin. I don't trust the system. I don't trust the people that's around the school. Milwaukee police said they arrested the student accused of attacking the boy, who is also 13 years old. Wilson said he further is upset because he believes no one helped his son for 30 minutes after the attack. He said he is waiting for answers from the district and the accountability through the legal system. Quote, I want them to face the penalties for what he was trying to do to my son. He was trying to kill him. Mr. Wilson said NPS disputes Wilson's claim about delayed medical care. The district said its investigation showed staff called 911 immediately and that a school nurse provided aid until paramedics arrived. They said this is not the first time Rufus King International Middle School has faced concerns about violence. A mother back in April said her daughter was attacked twice in 1 week. And so that story, that this young man gets into this situation with this guy, and that you send your child to school, not being naive that fights can't occur at school, things don't happen, but trying to think about how this young man got a piece of glass that he then in turn used to stab this boy. It makes you think about how these schools, when the father talked about them being understaffed, not enough security. One of the things that I even pay attention to, and this sounds completely sexist, and I'm just gonna say it, the ratio of female staff to male staff, particularly as you start talking about these middle schools and high schools where some of these boys and girls look like full-grown adults, even though they in middle school. It looks crazy. And then what it's like for those other children, because did anybody else see this young man? I don't know. But how do you deal with this whole situation? So being able to talk to our young people that because we got to tell our kids too, you don't know what these other children are coming through the door with that's in their background. So whether this child has mental health issues, whether this child has come from a household where domestic violence is the way they get down, you just don't know. And on one hand, we'll tell our kids, look, tell an adult. If that doesn't work, then, if they come at you, go ahead, lay hands, and I'll back you up. But some of y'all kids ain't equipped to even lay hands because they don't fight. They're not fighters. They're not around this. They haven't been taught anything about fighting. Because that's the one thing I had to say to somebody else. There was a female that I know, and she had a son, and she had told him, look, he was being bullied, and look, if they mess with you, you fight them back, and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, who done taught him how to fight? Because I seen him. He can't fight. So now you're about to get him hurt even more because, well, no, it'll naturally kick in. Go ahead, Jermaine.
That is true. When you don't have to be taught how to fight, because when you're in a situation that you got to defend yourself, you'll just start swinging. You'll just start doing whatever.
You may start swinging, but when you fighting against people who fight for sport,
no, I get it.
They just how they get down.
Yeah. See, but you learn from trial and error, and that's how the streets teach you. The streets teach you to get out there, whatever, take a licking, but you keep on ticking, but you come back. And you learn from that first one, so you know what not to do. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is.
One thing I would say is that I think that was more true when we were growing up.
Yeah.
These kids today don't even have no damn muscle strength because all they do is play video games.
Yeah.
Many of them don't go outside and play.
Yeah.
They don't play in any sports.
Yeah.
The things that helped us be able to whoop somebody.
Yeah, that is true.
Because we was physically strong. We were physically, active.
Yeah.
The only thing these kids is moving is they damn fingers on a game controller.
Video game, yeah. And they pick up a gun so quick.
Yeah, and so I'm like, y'all, talk to your children about de-escalation strategies and skills to try to get them out of certain situations. And the other thing, help your kids be able, and a lot of kids, they got a sixth sense about this kid ain't right. This person seemed like a problem. to be able to figure out like, hey, don't even hang out with that person.
Yeah, yeah.
Move around, get out of the situation. But how many of us are giving our children defensive skills to be in these new
Yeah,
environments? Because there's some new environments
yeah.
on some extent,
Uncharted territory.
because again, I don't know what a kid is on when they come to school. I don't know what you've had access. A little boy passed by me yesterday, and he he was as mannerable as he could be when he ran by, and he like was cutting me off, and he ran by. He said, excuse me, ma'am. And I was like, oh, no problem, babe. But the weed,
Loud as a fool.
Jesus Christ.
And you know what? And
the weed smell was
that's
a
what I was
fool.
about to say, because you have these parents now that's smoking weed in the house. The kids is seeing it and smelling it, and they doing exactly what they see. And you have some kids now that's going to middle and high school that's popping pills. So they coming to school high off perks,
Exactly.
high off bars, and you don't know it because they going in the bathrooms, and when they get in there doing it just so they can function through a school.
And so that is the reason why I wanted to bring that up this morning. I've gotten a couple of text messages. Some folks have said some of these kids like fighting for sport, for fun. Literally, they play fight as it's a
So
game
they
to
can
them.
record it. So they can record it.
Right. Yeah, these kids is soft because they ain't doing nothing but playing video games. They never threw a punch in their life,
Ever.
And I even was saying to my son, because my grandson, um, even though you not likely to be in certain kind of settings where fighting is going to be rampant,
Just in
but
case.
you need to know how to protect yourself.
Just in case.
Because this dude is primed to be picked on.
Yeah.
You smart.
Yeah.
You talk proper.
Yeah.
You ain't used to a whole bunch of, because he'll have cousins around him. So, all that rough housing and stuff that you do, this boy around adults all the time, except for at school and, of his friends. So like, I'm just telling parents, as we are preparing kids to go into these buildings, the same way we prepare them when we put them on the road about how to interact. If you are pulled over by the police, we need to start making sure that these children understand how to interact, that they appreciate, and they've heard it from their parents. All these kids ain't right in that building.
Right.
It's some folks you don't need to be trying to fight back. You don't need to be into it with. You need to get out the way when you see them. Get out of the way when you see them. Don't hang out with them when they try to hang out. The other young man, and I don't have his information pulled up in front of me, that was killed after a robbery attempt. He had gone to school that morning. It looked like he might have been on his way to an afternoon job. So one of those schools where you can go to school half day, go work half day. And this young man was killed. He had got attacked. I think they said he made it back to the school, and then subsequently he ended up dying. Young brother. We got to talk to them and give them defensive skills and defensive insight about how to navigate these streets. Because again, we'll all have a police conversation. We don't have that internal conversation though about how these folks about how folks are getting down. So I need to take a commercial break. I got a guest coming in later this morning, but we're going to run through a number of stories before that guest arrives and then conclude them on the other end. But y'all, nobody should have went to school and ended up being stabbed in their neck and head and back and hands to the point you got to be hospitalized or to the point at all. Let me say that correctly. That's madness to me. We in a different day. And we gotta respond differently as parents responsible for these children. All right, y'all. Let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. All right, family, welcome back to the show. Let me take a second to talk about a couple things that, in particular, I just find to be appalling and egregious. Number one, we know that Donald Trump is worried about the midterm elections. Okay. When he was signing the CR to be able to continue government funding. One of the things he said as he was writing, I hope that people will remember this when it's time to vote in the midterm elections. Now, what they're going to remember is that it was your behind. That's the reason why the government stayed shut down for as long as it did. That's one of the things they're going to remember. And number two, that you were in court actively trying to keep people from having access to food share benefits so that folks could eat while lawmakers were battling about healthcare policy and what we should be doing as a country right now. You didn't want people to eat because you wanted to be able to use that as leverage against the Democrats. So that's what they're going to remember. They're also going to remember that because how the number of them don't realize what a awful god awful business person you are, that you put these stupid tariffs in place. You tell these hillbillies, I'm sorry, you tell these people that y'all not gonna pay, the other folks gonna pay. That's what y'all was going around telling people in y'all neighborhood. Trump said we ain't paying. Them other boys is gonna pay. Them other folks is gonna pay. The minorities and them other people, they gonna pay. But the good white folks ain't gonna pay. That's what y'all was telling people. Because y'all believe the 5-time bankruptcy filing individual who thinks that that's a business strategy knew how to effectively run a government. But anybody who understands even the most basic, that's why I said yesterday, education is important. At some point in time, it becomes necessary. Basically educated people understood that when you say tariffs, people got to pay for those increases on one end or the other. Business owners pass those costs off to the people who buy the products. Maybe not in the beginning, but eventually, if you don't, you can't keep your doors open. So that's what they're going to remember. That you put these stupid random tariffs in place, and now you backing off some of them because your constituents are getting hurt. Because while you selling them gas that's less than $3, you selling them bacon that costs $15. You selling them coffee that's $19 and $20. You selling them smoked turkey necks that's $12 a pack. So he is worried about the midterm elections. So what that means then is that he started, talking to people, Republican controlled states, Republican controlled legislatures, Republican governors. Hey, we need to cheat and stack the deck. We need to shut down voters in your respective states from being able to send Democrats to Congress who could vote against the stuff I'm trying to do. So, Texas, I need y'all to get me 5 additional safe Republican congressional seats. Yes, you're going to steal them from black and brown people. Somebody said ground beef at Sam's Club was $26 a pack. Lord have mercy. You're going to steal these votes. You're going to steal, you're going to set it up so that districts that were solidly Democrat are now going to be solidly Republican. That way we can ensure we got a number of congressional members that are Republicans to continue to be cowards and rubber stamp everything I do, or just shut up and act like they don't see it. I don't care what y'all do, long as y'all don't interfere with what I'm trying to do. And so, of course, Governor Abbott in Texas said, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Trump. Because, Trump, like when people call him sir, he make it up in his mind that people call him sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got you, sir. That's what we going to do for you. We going to get you them 5 votes. You ain't got to worry about that damn Jasmine Crockett. We going to get rid of her black. Oh, baby. We going to get rid of him. That's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And so then the Dems get in on the game. And they was like, oh, that's what we doing? That's what we doing. So Gavin Newsom says, hey, let me go holler at my 40 million people. Cause see, whatever Texas doing, we got enough people to counter it. Like California is the size of like 5 states put together. California got 40 million residents. Wisconsin got almost 7 million residents. You see the math here? You see the math? And so California, but unlike disrespectful legislators in Texas who just steal and take from their constituents, California says we're going to put it to a vote. And we're going to ask permission from the people to say, hey, let us do this temporarily so that we can stop this power grab by Donald Trump and the Republicans. Folks in Cali said, go ahead, bro. We got you. Do what you need to do. So Trump is on the warpath looking for other Republican-controlled states to be able to say, steal me some seats from Democrats in Congress so that, again, I could just do whatever I want to. So down in Indiana, the Republicans down in Indiana are not in session. And Trump wanted them to call a session to come back in by December, so that this could be done before the end of the year to, vote on a new redistricting plan that would give him additional, safe seats, guaranteed Republican seats, literally changing the balance of power in Congress so that it's not just that one group has a majority, one group has a Boston, a monopoly. You can never get out from up under the number of Republicans. So like one state was talking about, they had, let's just say they had 4 Democratic or Democrats that represented the congressional district. Represented the state in congressional districts. They wanted to reduce it to 1. And they literally were going to cheat and maneuver on redistricting and draw the lines so that people that vote Democrat could only send 1 Democrat to Congress, whereas right now they can send 4. I'll pull up the state that was doing that. So back down 65 South over in Indiana, Republicans down there, for the most part, not all of them, but many of them said, man, we ain't doing that. No, we're not doing that. We are not going to be calling nobody back into session. And so Donald Trump gets mad and goes on a tirade. What you mean you're not going to do it? He starts blasting the governor of Indiana. The governor of Indiana, his name is Mike Braun. And, Trump, see, you got to be careful who you mess with. Because there's some people, and y'all know them. If they do something for you, they're going to remind you whenever it's convenient that they did something for you. Or they're going to always be looking at you kind of like, you owe me, right? Donald Trump is one of those people. Ask Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everything is transactional. No permanent friends, just permanent interests. And the minute your interests don't align with his, you out. And now one of the people in Marjorie Taylor Greene who was riding with Donald Trump when a whole bunch of people wasn't riding with him, he on the TV talking about her like a dog. But that's what he do. Again, what do folks say all the time? If you would cheat on your wife, the woman that you stood up in front of, or your spouse, the person that you stood up in front of, a room full of witnesses and put your hand on, the Bible, or not the Bible, that's an oath, but, had a clergy or a judge do these vows. If you cheat on them, what you going to do to me? I say that all the time. If you're raggedy enough to cheat on your spouse, what do you give a damn about how you treat Michelle? You do not. Because you love that person. You don't even love me. So that's what Trump has been doing to the governor down in Indiana. You owe me. You wouldn't even be the governor if it wasn't for me. And this is what he said. And I quote, considering that Mike wouldn't be governor without me, not even close, is disappointing. This is what he put on his fake media outlet, True Social. He urged that any Indiana Republican who opposed redistricting should be primaried. Did you hear what I said? So you can't get your way on getting states to capitulate and basically disrespect the people that pay their salary. Because while we have a Republican controlled legislature, the money that pays their salary comes from Republicans, Democrats, independents, socialists, anybody that's paying taxes in this town in some way, shape, or form is paying those salaries. So now the governor in Indiana, feeling a degree of pressure, he's calling for a vote on redistricting. But Republicans in the Senate, they hiding out. They're like, man, we don't hear you. We ain't coming up there. We're not coming in for a vote. And so it is coming to a head in terms of what's going to happen in Indiana. Because the other thing that we have seen, Indiana legislators who have not gotten on board with redistricting, they have had swatting incidents at their home. And you remember what a swatting incident is. This is when a false emergency report triggers armed law enforcement to show up at somebody's house, usually with a huge response, something crazy is going on, and it's all a hoax. They're just trying to create uncomfortable situations for the people that won't do what Donald Trump wants them to do. That's how his people get down. You don't, you exercise your right to free will and you don't do what he wants. They start threatening you. They kill you. They beat you. They send the police to your house. And depending on how you react, because you don't know what's happening, somebody could end up getting killed in that way as well. So keep your eyes on Indiana. Because right now, there are a set of Republicans that are holding the line. And they're saying, we are not doing redistricting that will shift the power. Because they, in a lot of these legislatures, they already done stole and shifted the power in such a way that they gave themselves safe majorities. And if the courts haven't intervened like they have in Wisconsin, they would continue to do that. And let me be fair. When Democrats have been in power, they certainly have done things to shift the tide towards them to get a leverage or an added, protection as well. It's the game. Some people just play it way more ruthless than others. But I need people to understand that this guy who is literally telling people, life is better under me. I do more for the American people. There is no such thing as a lack of affordability in America, blah, 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 is the man who's trying to silence your vote and steal your representation by cheating and stacking the deck to put more Republicans in office than should be there based on the makeup of their district. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. So let's then take a turn and leave Indiana and go across and go to North Carolina. Let's do that. I talked about that Donald Trump had, and Homeland Security had deployed all of these Border Patrol agents into Charlotte. Okay. Yesterday, when I was on the air, I said 80 people had already been arrested. They had only been in town a day and a half. It went from 80 to, by the time I got off the air yesterday afternoon, it was 130. Now, I'm not sure what that number is up to, but Those are some of the numbers that were coming in. They're also now getting ready to deploy forces over into Raleigh. Okay. So this is the thing. You got fights on multiple fronts. So you got Border Patrol coming in, you got ICE agents coming in, you got the FBI coming in, and then you got local law enforcement that's not being clued in and tapped into anything that's going on. So as Trump is telling people, we here to make you safer. If any of you watched CNN yesterday, you saw folks on TV saying, we closed our businesses because, like the one guy, he had a bakery shop. We don't want these people in here harassing these customers or potentially trying to arrest customers or harming customers. It's just easier to keep them closed. But this was the number yesterday that got me. 300 to 500 children stayed home from school in North Carolina, in the area, because of the ICE raids. Do you understand what I'm saying? That families were keeping their children at home because they were so concerned about either their safety as parents transporting these children back and forth to school, whether they were talking about the children themselves being picked up and harassed, because they've gone everywhere. They, Sunday, they was at churches. They in front of the Home Depot. They at the grocery store. Any place that they think that Hispanic, Latino speaking people, Spanish speaking people, Latinos may be, that's where they were. People were running into the woods trying to get away from these Border Patrol agents. I looked on social media, a Fox outlet or network down in the Charlotte area. And this guy said, one of the posts, he said, I've been educating my 10 kids in North Carolina for almost 25 years. 5 of them have graduated and they are all doing well. The oldest is a professional vocalist, while our next is an engineer. The third oldest is a police officer, while her younger sister is in an office manager for plumbing. Our 5th graduate builds boats. My youngest 5 were hanging out with me and doing their life. We're so fortunate to choose this way of life, so much freedom, because the parents had immigrated from somewhere else and they knew what life was like for their children. The people that are being rounded up are not people that are committing additional crimes in this country. I'm going to say it again. They're not. But at one point, and this is why what's happening in Congress and these midterm elections are so crucial, because Trump is just able to throw out, it's a state of emergency. And if it's a state of emergency, I'm granted these powers and I can override, whatever the states are talking about us not coming in. And so states have been suing. This is when I talk about the difference between sending people to represent you who got a backbone, who are fighters, who have proven that they are adept at fighting, skilled at knowing what to do, who have a track record, who can produce some receipts. This is why I say because what's happening in DC right now is you got a bunch of people, particularly on the Republican side of the aisle, who they not fighters. They're not willing to put themselves out on the line and stand up for what's right. They are not skilled in how to go about navigating an individual like Donald Trump. They go along to get along. They'll bend over. So we're getting what we see right now. When people will tell you, and I heard somebody say on social media, let me not say somebody. Let me just call his name, Tony Neal. Tony Neal put up a post. Tony Neal's a DJ personality, radio media personality. He put up a post. So he still is, kind of going through because he had talked about how he was not going to vote for Kamala Harris, and he must have caught a lot of heat from people. So Tony Neal put up a post of a funeral in which the body is there laying in the casket. It's an open casket. And this black woman comes up and is twerking in front of the casket. I'm talking about full on pop that coochie, baby, pop that coochie, twerking, busting down on the floor, doing splits, backing it up, big old wide behind, just jangling everywhere. It just looked a whole fool mess. It did. It looked a mess. Kids there, and then people in the background. Yeah, do it. Just say her name is Shelly. Do it, Shelly. Yeah, Shelly. Now drop it down, Shelly. I mean, but I don't know. The dude might have been somebody who liked strip clubs, and it was a tribute to him. I don't know. That might have been the chick who did his personal lap dances. I don't know. I can't just look at the casket and the lady twerking and doing splits on the floor and make an assumption about I know everything that's going on. Now, I could do a generalization and say, like,
Yeah, that. And you
I
don't.
saw the post, and I don't know Tony Neal. I don't have no beef with Tony Neal, but I'm just like, you know what? If we could just tell the truth about stuff and not assign blame,
Yeah.
just be what you want to be, bruh.
Yeah.
But that sister popping her coochie on the floor in front of a casket don't have nothing to do with a decision to vote. Because the overwhelming number of black women in this country are not doing that. Just like them sisters, I don't know if y'all seen this video. Sisters went into Lululemon. Lululemon is a athletic yoga clothes store. High as hell. And, black folks love wearing the latest and the greatest. A lot of Lululemon stuff is boring to me, but, we'll take anything and make it look fly. So there's a video on social media that's going around right now with about 10 sisters in it, maybe 12. They in Lululemon. They got on the yoga fits and they twerking, looking like straight up Magic City strippers in Lululemon. And women, let me just say this. I don't know when taking a picture with your tongue hanging out your mouth became fashionable. Please stop that. Please stop that. That's some hood rat trifling nonsense that was started by people who just don't have nothing else going on in life.
Yeah, that's the dumb.
Your tongue hanging out your mouth. Make the sound, Jermaine. Why we doing
so
that?
Stupid. This
why when did that become fashionable? And so that's what they doing. And when I looked at it, my brother sent me that video. I was just saddened because it's customers in the store. Everybody shopping, black folks, white folks, and it's predominantly gear that white women wear. But everybody in the store shopping. Men and they probably getting their early Christmas gifts for their wife's yoga class. Everybody shopping because Lululemon is the hot stuff right now. But you got this group of black women, young sisters, popping their big butts and doing splits in the middle of the store.
Recording it.
And everybody, hey. And you just like, come on, y'all.
And the sad thing about this is, who ideal was it? Like, so y'all just got together and say, hey, let's go to Lululemon and stick our tongues out and dance like strippers.
I mean,
in the middle of the day.
But at the end of the day, will any of that stop me from voting? No, it won't.
No.
Will any of that make me vote for a Republican? No, it won't.
No.
Because me voting will help me vote for a stronger education system, to be able to educate these young sisters who think that this is okay, to be able to give people options and put some music programs in schools and give them other outlets and opportunities by which to express themselves artistically.
Yeah.
That's what it will do. I will never tell nobody I'm not voting because of the behavior of a few people.
Yeah, that ain't fair.
I'm not voting because of the behavior of a few people. You're not going to act like what you saw was representative of an entire race of women. Stop it. So I applaud the Republicans for whatever reason they are holding the line in Indiana on redistricting. I applaud folks that are in this fight, these business owners who said, we are trying to prevent people from being harmed. Y'all, it's a way to do anything. I got to go to break. I don't know why this image, when I was talking about Donald Trump blowing up these people in the middle of the Caribbean and, off Venezuela, the shores of Venezuela. And I'm imagining the damage that these bombs are doing to these human bodies. You have no proof that you have presented to anybody to justify this. If we had strong members in Congress, strong, not these weak, tail between their legs individuals that's up there now, you would have people that are like, no, before you make another move. Because we got the power of the purse. How can we impact your ability? How do we fight back against what you're doing in this specific thing right now? Because this is wrong. If you are somebody who does not vote, I'm going to be riding your behind all the way through midterms, because people not voting or voting for stuff that's nonsense, like somebody going to give me a damn rebate check while they cut your health care to shreds, or they make sure your kids can't eat, or they blow up the Department of Education. We need y'all to go vote. So, Tony Neal, use all that good sense you got, bruh, to be able to figure out where people are on the issues and what moves the needle and not base it off of who was twerking at the funeral. I got to take a break. I'll be right back.
Accent. Civil rights leader Reverend
All right, family, welcome back to the show. So I told you all that I had a interview this morning, a guest who was coming in to talk about something that, quite honestly, near and dear to my heart. For over 44 years, the state of Wisconsin has hosted what is known as Marketplace. And this is an opportunity for, and then let me be specific, Marketplace Wisconsin. And this is an opportunity for Wisconsin businesses to learn about contracting with the state, federal and local agencies, as well as corporations. We are talking about billions of dollars in annual purchasing power. And we are so fortunate this morning that we have the Deputy Secretary and Chief Operating Officer of WEDIC with us this morning, Mr. Sam Rikers, to help explain a little bit about this program to the community. Good morning, Sam. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for having us on.
This is like the contrasting video, me in my hat and you in your suit, but we're gonna make it work this morning. We definitely will make it work. I know Sam is like, did I call a hip hop station? What's going on?
No.
So
You look cooler than me. I just don't have my Lululemon attire on.
look at you listening. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Sam. So look, tell people a little bit about and I saw some questions that came over. I'm gonna ask them out of order if that's okay with you, and add my own flavor to some of it. But first of all, I mentioned WEDIC. There are folks that may not be familiar with that acronym. What is WEDIC, Sam?
Yeah, WEDC. It's the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. We are the state agency, and I think we probably have the best charge of us all. We get to wake up every day and work to build an economy that was working for everybody in Wisconsin. We are making some smart investments so businesses and community and folks across Wisconsin have the opportunity to thrive.
So I mentioned that when I did just a little bit of a look back, this has been going on for over 44 years, the Marketplace Wisconsin. How does WEDC, I'll say it the way you do. I'll be honest though, I have always said WEDC, it's terrible. But how does WEDC come to the table in terms then of the creation of this marketplace?
You know what? We know that there are all businesses, diverse businesses all across the state of Wisconsin that really have an appetite to grow. And so we know, however, there are some barriers to businesses looking to grow, to tap into the millions and billions of dollars of government contracts, corporate contracts at the state, federal, and corporate level. And it was a commitment for a long time, and we try to do better every year to be able to create opportunities and education in ways that our growing businesses can tap into all those opportunities.
So this is something, because when you talk about the amount of information and that there are varying levels of government, and then you bring in the private sector as well, of opportunity for people to do business, this couldn't be done, I'm assuming, in one day. It doesn't seem like.
That's a great question, Michelle. We start the first day with an online virtual contracting academy. There are different stages of business maturity, and those businesses who may not already be ready to grow like that, we know there are some hoops and things you need to really get some real skills to be able to tap into those opportunities. And so we provide what we call the Contracting Academy the first day. It's virtual, so it's got a barrier to entry not very high. And then the second 2 days, you're right, it's a 3-day affair, is when we bring together those corporate buyers, those government buyers who are looking to connect and contract with businesses. And so a bunch of it's the connection part. That's the networking opportunities that businesses can find with the buyers. But then there's also the actual one-on-one meetings that we help connect businesses looking to sell into those larger contracts with those larger purchasers.
So let me ask this question, because I've had different iterations of these kinds of discussions over the years, and there are people that talk about small business owners, companies that are in that growth stage or trying to figure out how to expand, that there are certainly different problems in terms of entry points into doing this work, into or expanding their businesses. First of all, can you help listeners understand what are some of the biggest barriers to some of these smaller businesses being able to contract at these different levels of government and even with private businesses? And then what other classes or training opportunities do you all provide over the course of these few days that kind of addresses some of those concerns?
Yeah, super great question. First of all, there's an opportunity to get certifications that really give a business an opportunity to go after some of the larger contracts. But that process of getting certified state, there's some hoops you got to go through, and just learning how to navigate that certification process. That's one thing that our partner, the Wisconsin Procurement Institute, helps us do it. They really bring some of that and those skills and that education. And after that, most government agencies, a lot of businesses go out and find the right partner to supply them is through kind of RFPs, requests for proposals. And so learning how to be really smart and effective at responding to some of those bids, those are the kind of classes and skills that you'll get both at the Contracting Academy and further at Marketplace. And you take those skills and come to a place that will draw together 700 to 900 folks, both the small businesses, government agencies, corporate buyers. Then you can really put those together with those skills and really start to create some opportunity.
So let me shift just a little bit, because we know that right now, and I promise you this won't be a highly political question, but I can't ignore what's happening around us by way of attacks on diversity, equity, inclusion. I just literally was looking at an application for a state position a day or so ago, and it talked about, make sure that the application doesn't indicate what race you are, what this you are, what that you are, because people, either through force or pressure or fear are shying away from things that potentially look at either marginalized, underrepresented individuals, organizations in relationship to government functions and education. And so I know, you got a gist of what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
What is it? But back in the day, I used to be I still am a DEI trainer. One of the things back in the day that we had, and we've seen these different ebbs and flows in the industry, people would talk about the business case for diversity. I'm assuming that when we see something like the governor's marketplace, that there is a business rationale, a business case for why the state would be interested in helping to see small businesses, businesses that are owned by minorities, underrepresented folks, women, LGBTQ members. So what is the business case? Why would the state care if folks are able to contract and go after some of these more lucrative or bigger deals, if you will, or expand their business?
Yeah, it's such an important question. The biggest thing is about the prosperity and the growth for the entire state. I mean, if women own businesses at the rate that non-women own businesses in the state, if folks that were diverse own businesses at the rate and had opportunities that non-diverse folks own business, then collectively our state's economy would have way more jobs and have such a bigger GDP. And so we're just trying to create entryways for everybody in the state, all small businesses, but making sure that everybody has, because we all win, right? And when every business is more successful, no matter who the owner is, right? That every business, no matter who the owner is hiring more folks, is growing with more opportunity. All win.
So I got folks listening, and they're like, but I got a cleaning business, or I have this type of business. Who are they looking for, Michelle? I mean, how do I know if what I'm selling is something that somebody's interested in, or my service? So what types of businesses should consider attending this multi-day event?
Yeah, that's another good question. I mean, here's what I recommend. If you don't,
I hope you see Sam,
that?
I hope you see the path. I hope you see what's happening here, because I think now I'm batting 4 for 4 on good questions.
Yeah, you are. You do this for a living. Thank you for doing it. Don't go anywhere. Here's what we know is that if you're not sure that your business is in a place and is selling something or selling a service that a large buyer, government agency or corporate is looking for, then absolutely get on our website and register for the Contract Academy. That's going to set you up. If you already know that you're in that space and you know that you're selling or providing services that you know are in high demand, you just got to figure out how to jump through the hoops, then you should definitely be showing up at the Barrett Center in Milwaukee next month.
Okay, so you mentioned something about registering. I know you said that first session is virtual. I don't know if this is a hybrid situation, but is there a cost to register? And can you let folks get an idea of what that would look like?
Yeah, so the first thing you want to do, you'll get all the details there. And I'm going to say it's WEDC. You heard that, Michelle. WEDC.org. Super.
You know what, Sam? It sound like you or feel like you throwing shots, but it's okay though. It's all right. But yeah, so and I will just tell people, because I did go, because one of the things that will prevent people, sometimes people won't even go to the website because they worry about affordability. And when I looked, I saw that at one phase of this, registration was running like $55. And then after November 7th, I think it went up to $75. Is that information correct?
Yeah, and that's a pretty low bar, I'll say. I mean, the first going to the Contracting Academy, and when you come there, there's food and there's drinks and there's opportunity for networking. So basically, there's that. But we know that if you don't make something, folks pay a little bit to come, they don't assign value to it. And there's so much value to this. And my reason for bringing up costs, I wanted, because like I said, sometimes people, one of my good friends, he would always say, don't tell yourself no. People would talk themselves out of why I shouldn't participate. I probably can't afford registration. This is something that's a big deal. The state is doing it. All these folks at the table. And so they don't take the time to even investigate, like, oh, wait, I can afford $75, and if I had come in earlier, I could have got it for less. So I want, people in our community, number one, to understand this is an affordable investment in your future. It is something that, like you said, the just the information alone, it will pay for itself in terms of growing your business. So somebody just hit me up and said, could he repeat one more time where they can go and find information about how to register? So let them know that again, Sam. I'm going to go there again. It's our website. It's right on top. It's WEDC.org. And you talked about something there's tremendous information you can grab both from the Contracting Academy and Marketplace. But when I reflect into 4 or 5 or 6 of these, I don't look back and say, oh, that educational session was my favorite. What's incredible is at the large networking session, when I see businesses that have connected with agencies and they've already sat in one-on-one meetings and then they've carried on that conversation to the networking session, you can see before you. Like that, to me, is my favorite part.
I just got to ask you, usually I always do something that kind of helps listeners understand who they're talking to, why people do what they do. Because I think anytime you are advocating for something, selling something, pushing something, supporting something, people are like, why should I listen to this guy? Just doing it because it's a paycheck involved. I went back and I looked at your bio, and you have done a lot, Sam, whether it is, law school graduate, administrator at the U.S. Department of Ag for rural businesses and co-op services. You've actually created programming. I love the Tiny Earth name in terms of being the ED there. Of all the things you could be doing, and it seems like you could be doing so many different things, why is this? Because I can hear like a degree of passion when you talk about the opportunity here. How have the things that you've done over the years professionally brought you to this moment and helped you value something like the Marketplace Wisconsin?
Some of the best 3 years of my life, I got to run this little agency at the Department of Agriculture for President Obama. And what I learned there under that administration is whether you are a little town in rural America, rural Wisconsin, whether you have a business on the north side or south side of Milwaukee, or maybe Beloit, maybe you're up in Green Bay, that we in a place where every one of those businesses just can find the opportunity. Like they got to walk through that door. Little business in rural Wisconsin, little business, on National Avenue, right? Wherever it is, they still got to walk through the door. But creating that opportunity, whoever you are as a business owner, that you tap into all the opportunities, that is really cool. And it's not that big of a step. You don't have to do that much to open that door.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, if the reception that people get mirrors anything like your enthusiasm for the program, the way you have described it and laid it out, I think that people will certainly see that this is an amazing thing that they can be a part of and an opportunity. I want to make sure that I thank you and the folks over at WEDC for making sure that our listeners here at the station had this information, and just tell you that, like, Sam, this was a good interview. I could see people saying I want to go to this just because of you.
Michelle, thanks for lifting it up. Appreciate it.
You. I appreciate it. You have a good day now.
You too.
All right. All right, y'all. I mean, you can hear it. You can hear the energy. You can hear the sincerity. There are folks that want people to do well. And while there are constant attacks on communities of color, businesses of color, marginalized groups, underrepresented groups, there are folks that are committed to making sure that the work continues. As I said, this is something that's been around for 44 years in Wisconsin. Take advantage of this program. And if you are somebody that has gone through it, let me know. Let me understand what your experience has been. But you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your business. Again, what my guy say, don't tell yourself no. Somebody else gonna have to tell me no. So take advantage of this one more time. And I'll pull it up, but you can go to WEDC's website to be able to get information on how to get registered. And it is happening from December 9th through the 11th. The session on December 9th is virtual, and in person on the 10th and the 11th. So we'll talk about this again next week to remind people, but take advantage. All right, let me take a quick break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV. Somebody just hit me up and said, Sam is solid. We participate every year as a vendor or participant. So Sam, I knew I sensed it. People co-signing for him saying that he's a good dude. All right, y'all. So let me take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Double E.
All right, family, welcome back to the show. Got a caller. Let's get them in real quick. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, am I on the radio?
You are.
I was not trying to be on the radio. I don't think Jermaine heard me. I was just trying to grab some information in regards to the last interview.
Okay. What do you need to know?
Okay, so I wanted to know. Last thing I heard was December 9th, the event.
So it's
was
a
virtual.
3-day. It's a 3-day.
3-day event.
Mhm.
Okay.
December 9th is virtual, and December 10th and 11th is in person. But what do you need? Like registration information or where to get more information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can go to just type in WEDC. And that's Wisconsin Economic Development, and it's right on their homepage, all of the information, and then they got a link where you can register, or you can go to marketplacewisconsin.com and you can register there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so look, y'all, a couple of quick announcements, because today is my day. I end early, and since I spent an inordinate amount of time talking about my Christmas trees, Marquette, don't worry, I got your pictures as soon as I get back to the house. I wanted to take a moment and mention something that's happening tomorrow. No, I'm sorry, it's happening on the 20th. It is a lecture series, Shape the Future of BCA, and BCA stands for let me see, what does BCA stand for? I'll figure it out. But there is a lecture that's happening. It's called Black Defined, 5020 West Belize Street, happening on the 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. So that's on Thursday. And the name of the spot, it looks like, I think that's right. Let me make sure I got it right. Is DANDY Milwaukee. Yes. So the name of the spot is called Dandy, DANDY. And again, that's 5020 West Belize Street. So right down the street from the MPS administration building. But the community is invited to join us for a moderated discussion and Q&A that explores how artists create the framework that sustain Black cultural life. But it is when I found out who was going to be on this panel and this discussion that I was like, oh, I am so there for this. Leslie Guy is the moderator. Leslie Guy is the founder of an arts consultancy and the Midwestern Black Visual Arts Preservation Initiative Conduit. Ain't never heard of them. Never. I'm like, where have you been, Leslie? Is a museum professional with over 25 years of experience. Her work centers on culturally sensitive collections stewardship, collaborative programming, and the preservation of Black visual art across the Midwest. Can't wait to meet this woman. Danny Simmons, artist and founder, Rush Arts Foundation. Simmons is an artist, author, poet, philanthropist, curator, co-creator of Deaf Poetry Jam, and co-founder of the renowned Rush Philanthropic Arts Foundation. Through this nonprofit, Rush Arts Gallery NYC and Rush Arts Philadelphia have served as vital cultural hubs, providing exhibitions, art education, and opportunities for hundreds of emerging, developing, and underrepresented artists of color since 1995. And then the one that made me smile, Deidre Harris Kelly, co-director of the Romare Bearden Foundation. Deidre Harris Kelly is the co-director of the Romare Bearden Foundation, where she stewards the legacy of her uncle, Romare Bearden. An artist, curator, and educator, Harris Kelly has been instrumental in expanding the foundation's educational and public programs that connect Bearden's work to contemporary issues in art and community. Her career bridges creative practice and cultural preservation, emphasizing art's power to sustain memory and social connection. And they have opportunity for people to RSVP, and you RSVP at bcamke.org/RSVP. So RSVP at bcamke.org RSVP. I'm going to give this information out again, most likely on Thursday morning. Let me tell y'all something. Some of the first artists that I ever get exposed to, Romeo Bearden is in that top, like 5. And when you begin to understand there's a whole nother world out there in which people are creating art, and the way people see the world and how art shows up for different people, and understanding that no two people will look at one picture and see the exact same thing. It is amazing to me. There is no place that I go that I don't try to figure out where is the museum, art museum, particularly art museums that have representative bodies of work from Black artists. There's no city that I will visit and not ask the question, is there a Black art museum? Or is there a museum that has Black art installations that I can go see? When I was in South Africa, in Cape Town, when I was in Kenya, I went to the art museums. And some of the most incredible, beautiful work I have ever seen, things I could have never imagined, I got exposed to. If you are somebody that loves art, and I'm going to tell you real quick, I had learned about this group of docents at the Milwaukee Art Museum that were a group of Black women. And this is years and years ago. A sister by the name of Jackie Isom, who has passed away. But she was the person that made me aware of this group. And I used to say that if I ever had the time and the means, that this was something I wished I could have been a part of. A group of Black women who were responsible for making sure that our art museum had artwork that reflected our community, in terms of either buying a piece to be put there, or I can't remember all the nuances of how this program worked. I don't know if it's still in existence today, but I know she was a part of that. And I just thought this is the coolest thing ever, that you have people that put their money where their mouth is. They are committed to making sure that if it's the Milwaukee Art Museum or anywhere else, that Black art is represented and on full display. And I will say this real quickly. I subbed for an extended period of time over at Elm Creative School for the Arts, the elementary school. And as a part of their curriculum, they would take children to the art museum. It was a part of their thing. It was built into the education. And I'll never forget, we had a docent or tour guide who was taking us through the museum, and you got all these Black children, one or two Hispanic children, but a 95% Black group of kids. And this woman who was taking us through the library, through the museum, one thing that she did that was so lacking and disappointing to me, she didn't take these children and point out one single piece of artwork that was done by an African-American artist. And there were works in the museum. I ended up making a point to find out which works, were done by African-American artists, and if any of them were local. And I'm like, how you got all these Black babies in here and you don't say that this painting right here was done by, blah, blah, blah. We have some of the most creative and skilled and imaginative young people ever, who do not have art always as an outlet, or don't have people that encourage it and expand it and help them understand that this can be a career choice for you, that you can make money doing this. Now, I don't know if you're going to get rich, but I know you got the ability to. And so, along with Jonathan Green, my early introduction to art, Romeo Bearden at the top of the list. So I just wanted to make sure someone had given this to me when I was at an event the other day, and I lost my mind when I was like, I can meet the niece of Romeo Bearden. I literally lost my mind. So this is a full year for me because I met Jonathan Green at Martha's Vineyard this past summer. And again, bruh, I've been collecting your stuff forever. So let me go to the phone line real quick. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yeah. Good morning, Miss Michelle Bryant. How are you?
Hey, JT, how you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing quite well, and thank you. I'd like to also say good morning to those outstanding gentlemen in the studio this morning. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Michelle, quickly, I just want to revisit what you was talking about earlier with the Trump episodes. You know, first of all, he was talking. I was just wondering, would the United Nations place a warrant out for his arrest had he blown up 80 white people in boats? You know, that's just a question I had. I was just thinking about. Now, had he blew up 80 white people in their boats, with the United Nations put a warrant out for his arrest? And one more thing, Michelle, for you, this is something to ponder, right? But I thought Venezuela wasn't that the place for these when he started this illegal immigrant campaign here in the United States? Wasn't that the place he first sent them to Venezuela?
Wait, say that part again. I can't hear you, JT.
I'm sorry. Yes, was Venezuela, was that the country he sent the so-called immigrants, illegal immigrants, to when he first started his campaign here in the United States?
Look at you. Look at you. Okay, so they actually, I don't know that they went directly to Venezuela, but they did get deported to El Salvador and areas around Venezuela. So let me go back and look. But there were Venezuelan immigrants. He deported 238 in one reading, Venezuelan immigrants. But they went to prisons in El Salvador. And yes, there was some conversation about that some of those prisoners were going to be sent from El Salvador back to Venezuela. So Venezuela has been in the mix. But I don't know if they were originally the direct place, but then later they came into play. But very astute of you to make that connection. Very astute.
You know, yeah, and now I see that he has the military bill up to go into Mexico and Venezuela, talking about sending in ground troops, and now you got these two countries trying to get militia people and plus the other military to fight back. This man has gone buck wild and everything crazy.
Yes,
and
he
you're
has.
right. If you don't, if you don't try to do something soon, it's going to be a mess. It's already building up here in the United States. You know, you got these people getting to fight these ICE people back. They're fighting back now instead of just protesting. They're trying to find a way to fight them back, and it's just a shame. It's just a shame. I just want to say that quickly.
No, that's cool. Thank you, JT.
Thank you for your outstanding show, dear.
Yes, I appreciate you. And as I get ready to close out the rest of the show, since JT brought it up, let me also mention this. I don't know how many of you heard that Trump is now floating the idea. He said, well, I mean, I'm not going to do it, but I would be proud to blow up parts of Mexico to go after the drug cartels. I would be proud to blow up sections of Colombia to go after the drug cartel. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I would be proud to do it. If he's saying it, he thinking it,
he gonna do it.
He gonna do it.
Yeah, he gonna do it.
I mean, just think about, as it was pointed out on the networks, these are sovereign countries who get to run their crap the way they want to. But what if somebody decided we're going to blow up portions of America where gun manufacturing plants are? Because as the president of Mexico said, we don't manufacture guns in Mexico. But the reason why these cartels are able to be so strong here is because of all the American-made weaponry that is in our country.
So what if they start hitting like the gun factory?
That's what I'm saying.
All that other stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be chaos, but I think that's what he's banking on because, again, like I've been saying, he wants to stay in office. So he's going to figure out a way to stay in office, to whether it's taking the country through chaos. And in the middle of that, well, we're not going to be able to hold elections because it's chaos going on right now. So once we get that under control, so he has a plan.
Well, I think the one thing, and hopefully, if Republicans do have any little sense left about them, that they will see is this is their opportunity. This your opportunity to get rid of this dude. Y'all should have did it the first time and impeached him, and then y'all could have just went back to just functioning as the regular, jacked up, folks that y'all were, as opposed to all this additional nastiness. Like, y'all was smoother with y'all nonsense before. Now it's just outright racism. So, all right, y'all. That's the show for today. Appreciate the folks over at WEDC for the interview and family. I will talk to you all tomorrow, bros, in the studio. I appreciate you, Clark. If you're in the building somewhere, appreciate you too, fam. All right, bros. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace, family.